I think it plays a role. I don't really believe in roadblocks. I ignore them. I've always been more about myself, and if you don't like me because I'm Hispanic, you know what, at the end of the day, that's your problem. It ain't mine. I honestly believe that from the bottom of my heart. You know, at a very young age, I was at Eyewitness News. And you can feel when people don't like you or they feel that you shouldn't be there. And to me, it was like, your problem. It ain't mine, because I'm not going anywhere. You deal with it. Bringing the sensitivity, I think, is crucial. And I do think that we lack that in American newsrooms. And it's something as simple that happened on Friday. It's happened twice, and it's always happened on Thanksgiving for some reason. I was in the newsroom. I was off on Thursday. I was the manager in the newsroom on Friday. I have a Hispanic reporter who was watching Univision. I walked by her, and I see that there's an info bar that Chespirito had died, El Chavo del Ocho, the Mexican comedian. If I had not been in the newsroom, that story would not have made it to News 12 the Bronx Air on Friday. I can unequivocally say that, because who would have known who Chespirito was? But I knew who he was, and I know my audience. I told the producers, get this in as a reader, at least as a reader, let's find a picture, and let's post it on Facebook. I posted on Facebook myself. I wrote up the thing myself. 20 minutes later, there were 35 comments. Everybody saying, oh my God, I grew up watching him. A couple of people said, in not very nice language, who the hell is he? Who cares? But you get those no matter what story you do. But we have a company called Social News Desk that measures our social media efforts. So on Saturday morning, when I went to look at the most clicks, the most comments, the most shares, the most impressions, and the most likes, it was a Chespirito story. Nothing against someone who wouldn't know. I mean, because what you don't know, you don't know. But obviously, that's a sensitivity that only somebody who understands the community and understands not so much the community that you're working for. I know I don't have, it doesn't take rocket science to know that if the Bronx is, 60% Hispanic and Chespirito dies, people are going to have something to say, people are going to care. I did it for Brooklyn. Brooklyn was less, but we had the same kind of reaction. People knew. So like today I was telling them, the CNN, because there was a huge funeral in Mexico today, so I was asking my producers, does CNN have anything on the funeral? Because again, it proved that the audience cared. Last year for Thanksgiving, or the year before, it was Héctor El Macho Camacho, the boxer. He was shot in Puerto Rico. He was brain dead for a couple of days. It was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, 10 a.m., I read in the Puerto Rican paper that he had been declared brain dead and that the family was fighting. They didn't want to pull the machines off. I just wrote something on Facebook. It's Thanksgiving morning. I'm thinking there's 4 people checking Facebook. Hundreds of comments. 20 years after he had left New York. I found out that he had trained at a Brooklyn boxing, whatever. You need that sensibility. The sensibility is always a plus. It doesn't mean that you can't have it if you're not Hispanic, because there's somebody here who had it, and I can say that very proudly. He picked it up right away, and when he didn't know something, he knew enough to know that he didn't know, so he would ask of those who knew. So sensibility, because at the end of the day, news is news. I always said that we could do them in Japan. As long as you're sensitive to whatever issues are going on in the place that you're at. It's not so much about,